Hello and welcome to another episode of Look What Just Found. Today is episode 74. And we here, we meaning me and you, we here and Look What Just Found were monetized yesterday. Thank you. Second round of applause. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. And it took a long time. No, I want this to be on the second one. I have a theory. I have a theory on the different types of roles. Right? To me, these are like the newer ones. These are like the older ones, and these are some of the oldest ones. So I try to make the video as cool as possible, because I'm so cool. Yeah, I know. I don't know. Well, I did watch this video the other day, and the guy, oh my God, who is it? I think it's the guy from what's that movie called that it did really bad? It was a Marvel's flick. Well, a lot of them did really bad. It was a Marvel's flick, and he was like a vampire or something like that. And he had radar. I can't remember the name, but the guy from that movie, I believe I'm talking about him, and not someone who looks like him, which of course, but that's always a possibility also. But the guy from that movie, and he's like super into taking care of his body and everything. Like he did a documentary or like a long YouTube video or something, and he's talking about, man, this guy, like, I think he's my age or older. I think he's in his 50s, and he looks like he's in his 20s. God bless him, and I guess that's I guess he is still cool in his 50s. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's the point I was trying to make. 3 years later. All right, so there's a lot of copper in here, so that's good. That's what we wanted to see. That's what we wanted to see. We wanted to see a lot of copper. All right. I usually have to adjust the camera a little bit at the beginning of the episode. So here, okay, so we became monetized yesterday. That's pretty much going to be the topic's going to be played out today. I really want to look at that Y. Nah, it's inside all that junk. I don't care. And I don't talk much about myself on the channel. First of all, I'm pretty private, and I want the channel to have a focus. I want the channel to. I don't see. It's a little complicated for me. Oh man, if this was, oh my goodness, if this was the small date, we'd be paid on that one. How do you do the womp womp womp? Oh, is it the small date? Is it small date? Oh no. Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. So I don't want the channel. I mean, the channel in a sense is about me because okay, so the guy who I was thinking about, it's funny. I have my memories probably shot from all the, being younger and stuff like that, Um, the guy who I was thinking about was Quinn's Coins. Quinn's Coins. Um, Quinn's Coins, the really big coin people. You know what I mean? Am I going to be big like Quinn's Coins and Rob Fine's Treasures? I don't know. It's easy to say leave it in the Lord's hands. You know what I mean? If you leave it in the Lord's hands, but you're not listening to the Lord's direction, that's a cop out. Just to not to get off on a tangent or anything. But you have to be careful with saying things like that. I'll leave it in the Lord's hands. If because the Lord gives us so many opportunities to improve our life and to improve other people's lives. So, again, I don't, I don't want, I don't want, I don't want, I don't want, I don't want. I'm trying. This is a coin searching channel, for the most part. I show all this stuff. I did a video on RCs the other day. I have a bunch of other RCs. I'll probably show them. They're super duper cool. If that's the D above the 86, if that is the D, there's no way that is the D. Where's my little thing at? Come here. You know what? I'm such a if you grew up in the 70s, okay, and I don't know if you have to be Hispanic for this, but if you grew up in the Hispanic people in the 70s, all of their furniture had plastic on it, which if you didn't grow up in the 70s, you probably never, unless you went to your great grandparents' house, you probably never even seen them before, because by the 80s they all had cracks in the plastic, and you saw them all throughout the whole 80s. They were in the garbage, right? And so I have this thing still. Look, I have look. I'll show you. If you think I'm kidding you, look. Here's my remote. I got this thing about keeping stuff in plastic, man. It's. I don't know if it's like I don't want to call it a sickness. Where's the laughing one? But I still keep everything in plastics, and you know what? This thing is $8. It'll probably last forever, not being in plastic. But that noise was driving me. I'm throwing it in the garbage. Oh no, maybe I'll put it. You see, I can't throw it in the garbage. I just told myself, no. After the video, you put it back in the plastic, and then you put it back over there, so it stays like it's new forever. It's it is sick, man. In a sense, it's kind of, that's just to show you how your um your generation, but your environment has, what is that? I don't know what that is. It's not the D. It looks like a D, but it's not the D. Sure does look like, it's not though. I mean, it looks so much like a D. You know what? I'm putting it to the side. I'll just hold on to it. See, that's the cool thing about this. You just put it to the side. So, you know, this channel, it's about coins. You know what I mean? I want to learn more about how to be identify penny errors. Really, that's And of course, when you learn how to identify penny errors, a lot of the penny errors are errors that translate to other coins, right? So you get a 2-for-1 when you from focusing on. I'll still look at that. I know the V is only on the 2023, supposedly the extra V. But if I see something that looks like an extra V, it only takes a second to check it out. You know what I mean? See if there's an error on it. There won't be, but what the he hate. So, I don't. I talk. I mean, I've told everyone that I was a social worker. I got my master's degree. Blah blah blah. And so I was an EMT, active EMT for 6 years. I was an inactive EMT for a long time. Also, I'll put this into the fines. It would have been into the AUs, but it just got too much of that stuff on it. And I guess for some reason, I mean, I became an EMT when I was 18 years old. I graduated high school in 1989, 17 years old. And, I was living at 17, I think at that point, or at some point very close thereafter, I was living on my own. And so thank God I got the EMT. I'll put that into man, I'll be honest, that's really nice. I don't know about AU though. You don't know, you go with the higher one. So I'll put that into the fines, even though that is pretty sweet. So, majority of my life working, I had my first job. My first on the books job was when I was 14 years old at Burger King. So, when you get older, the IRS will start sending you statements saying, what you qualify for. For the younger people out there, most of the people who watch this show are older, so you all know what I'm talking about. So I guess in a sense, I'm kind of talking to the younger audience out there. They'll send you. All right, that's just so cool. I'll put it on the side just to look at later. Make a short out of it. Another 82 large date copper, Philadelphia. They send you your statement saying how much you'll earn if you when you retire, or at 65 or 66 or 67, or by time, if you're younger, by time you're qualified, when you're 80 years old. That was a joke. That thing cracks me up, man. That thing cracks me up. So, my that for me, that thing that says, it shows you your first job and everything on the books, and mine goes back to when I was 14 years old at Burger King. So that was 1980. There was the summer, so it was the summer. Was the summer before I turned next year older. So 71 plus, so it's 84, the summer of 84. I worked at Burger King for that whole summer. And that was my first job. Before that, believe it or not, I was a little working bug, I had a friend, and anybody who told me, we're talking about 12, 13 years old, right before that. I had a friend, and he said, "Oh, you wanna make $20?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And And what happened was, grocery stores um, that sold newspapers, either they came um, put together, or they could come unput together. I guess it was cheaper, right? And then you put them together yourself. Talk about, trying to make an extra $2 or $3, right? That's pretty nuts if you think about it. So my friend used to, you know, I only did it one day, but just to give you an example of the type of how I was growing up. If someone said they had a job, I was like, yeah, I'll do it from 12, 13 years old. Okay, I put that into fine. That's a beauty. I put that into the fines. It's for some reason those 68s, a lot of them comes like with a on the obverse, like if the die was not polished or smooth. And for about 6 hours, I put together newspapers with my friend in the basement of this grocery store for $20, and that was big time, for me back then. You know, um, I was 13, so it was the year before. It was the summer before the I worked at Burger King, so I was 82, and then I turned 13. No, 83. Excuse me, 83. Then I turned 13. Put that in the fines. Yeah, so I mean, I had it kind of rough growing up, in case and because that shouldn't be normal. You know what I'm saying? But I get it that it is normal for a lot of people. Like it was for me. That was totally normal. Being broke and you know, um, and having financial issues was part of my growing up. So I guess talking about the plastic on top of on top of the remote control and on top of the sound box, kind of made me think about that a little bit. Um, but the past, the how do you say, is a big part of um, what molds our behaviors in the present, right? And then our present is about improving those. That's a pretty big hub slip, but it didn't cause any doubling. You see that you got the hub slip there, but I'm gonna look at that L regardless. I need a better loop too. I mean, everything I got. It's like passable, and that bothers me a little bit. A little bit, not too much. We're on the second roll already, so we're moving right along. I guess this is pretty good. 92. I'm looking for the close one. It's not close. So, I think about the direction of the channel, and it's moving right along, right? We got monetized yesterday. Talk about no clad, huh? Or damage or what have you. I could put that with the other one. Maybe that'll make a little interesting skit on the disgusting damaged pennies. And so I became an EMT, and after that, I drove a cab for 3.5 years. And believe it or not, driving a cab, you have to be really, really, you have to be a very responsible person to drive a cab. I don't care what they show you in the videos. I mean, to be a successful cab driver, I'm sorry, anybody could drive a cab. But if you want to own your own, like I had my own cab. I did not have a hack. I did have a hack license. Excuse me. I did have a hack license. I still have it. I was super duper heavy when I got it for whatever reason. And I lost weight while I was driving the cab. Another one. That's nice. I wonder if that's a copper. So that's kind of like my. And then I went to college. Um, I went to art school right out of high school, and I went for a couple years, and then I dropped out for various reasons, and I went to drive a cab, and almost like a lamination error. Beauty. I put that with the fines. It's just so nice. And then after driving a cab, I went back to college and became a social worker. Took like another 6 years, right? Let me see. I went back in I think '96, and then I graduated in 2002, right after the whole you know attack and all that. I was actually working when all that stuff happened. And while I went to college, I worked and went to school, right? And I used financial aid, which I'm got student loans for still to this day. You can avoid that, you should. um, that's interesting. Some of these reverses are just interesting. Oh, it's a 92. All right, so oh man. And then for the next 20 years, I basically worked as a counselor, mostly um, addiction. Mostly, I worked in addiction, and had some other. I can't even call them side hustles. I have to call them. I had other jobs while I did that, right? So I did the real estate from 2005 to probably 2015 for 10 years. So for 10 years, I was a counselor and I did real estate. I basically both full time. Wake up from the morning until, hey, we haven't found a Canadian in a long time. From the morning. So this I guess this video is going to be a little bit about my history, I guess. What the he hey. Why not? Maybe we could knock one out, right? Um, and a little bit of my thought process. 'Cause that's what I do a lot on this. I talk a lot, right? So So, majority of my life, I worked two jobs. I went to school and worked, or when I got out of school, I worked two jobs. Sometimes if I worked part-time jobs, I worked 3 and 4 part-time jobs, which I did that for a while too. And I kind of like that. I like the freedom of working part-time jobs. I didn't have any health problems, so I just didn't have health insurance, and they didn't have that law, something about you have to have. If you don't have health insurance, it costs you not to have health insurance. That was crazy. That was bananas. I think is that still a thing? All right, we got two. Oh man, this is turning out to be nice. Yeah, man, we got some good stuff here. So, and then I did that for many, many, many years. Real estate, social work, um, and other side hustles. And then few years ago, I started having some health issues, and I started working from home. And that's what I've been doing for the past few years to this day, working from home. And for the past year, the economy has slowed down so much that my home uh, business, which my wife helps me out with, um, became so slow. So I was like, oh, I want to do something else. Look at that. You know what? You just tell when there's so much damage. You can see that. You can see the crimp roll went right through the O. I was wondering about the O. Still a copper. A lot of copper. More zinc though than copper. I have to say that much. But we found some interesting things today. So that is my life in a nutshell. Did a lot of extraneous things happen during that time period? 100%. I mean, forget about it. I could probably spend a lifetime talking about my lifetime. And maybe we all can, you know what I'm saying? I've interviewed and spoke with on a professional basis thousands of people. And so I've heard everything. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of the stuff, my past experience and the things that I've heard and been exposed to, a lot of it is very negative, just to put it bluntly. That's a beauty. I don't know if I'll put this in AU though, still. It's close to AU, and I like that misaligned die, but I'm still going to put that with the fines. I really want the AU rolls to be really, really close to AU, 92. I'll still look at the reverse. Is not, I have to look at that under the loop. I can't tell. But I don't think that's close. Is not. Oh man, I'm gonna get a lot of mileage on that thing, man. A lot of it's very negative. Just to be honest with this, straight up. Maybe you could tell by my little my flair. If I have flair, I do have some flair, I guess. My flair is a little. What's the word I'm looking for? Maybe you could hear like a little bit of an edge sometimes in my voice. Like okay, some of my references are very 80ish. Yeah, boy. I do that every once in a while. I'll put this into the AUs. That's a beauty. That's a beauty. That's the stuff type I like to. I'm on my fifth roll of AUs now. Um, but that's this type of stuff that's in the AUs. Maybe I'll get $5 or $10 for them. Maybe not. We'll see. So, but I lived that life. Growing up, and I worked really, really, really hard at changing that aspect of my life, right? Through education and through being a professional. So the business slowed down the past year or two, really. And I had some free time in my hands. And I was contemplating going back out and getting a job out there in the world, you know, like a normal person. Yeah, some coffee. But in a lot of ways, I'm really not a normal person. You know what I'm saying? I am, and I'm not. You know, like I have that whole entrepreneurial thing going on, and I have to be honest. At my core, that's who I am. You know, I talked about my childhood and working as a child. I mean, put it like this: when I think I told this story before, not in its entirety, but when I was 8 years old, I'm saying 8, it could be 7. I mean, I was a little kid. Yeah, it's got that red on it. I'm gonna look at this one. Look at that. I'm gonna look at that real quick because that looks it from this distance. The VDB looks misplaced from this distance. I don't know what's going on down there underneath the. I'm gonna look at this one. I'm gonna keep that red. I'm gonna keep this penny on the side. That red is it's either now there's a new thing. It's called oh, I can't remember the word. I should do a whole video on it. Sinter. Because I kept saying it's annealing, right? And it could be annealing, but it could also be sintering. I'll hold on to that. But that's most likely what that is. Obviously, it's not paint. You can see it in other places, and you can even see the redness. You see that the redness? That's the sintering or the annealing. It's not annealing, you see, because annealing would be the just the cover, the coating of the penny. But you can see that redness throughout the metal of the penny. So I would think that's sintering. I will put that to the side, and I'll do a little short on it later. Yeah, so when I was a kid, when it snowed outside, I did it for a couple years. I mean, obviously, I didn't do it when I was 5 years old. I don't think I did it when I was 6. But I think as soon as I hit like 7 years old, I grabbed a shovel. 7 years. I mean, if you think of what a 7-year-old is today, that's like a baby, man. But when I was 7, I was an adult at 7 years old. And no other way of putting it. I was an adult. If I had to cook for myself, I cooked for myself. Um, I'm gonna look at that. That looks a little weirdo. And if I wanted, if I wanted something, I had to go out and try to work for it. Not everything, but some things. And I remember when it snowed, I would get thrilled because I would go grab a shovel. Remember, I found it. I think I found it in the street, and this I put this in the AUs. That's a beauty. I found it, and that was it. And I kept it. And when it snowed, I think that's what happened because I know no one bought me a shovel. There's no way someone bought me a shovel, so I had to have found it in the street. And I would go around, and for a dollar, I would, or 50 cents if it was something small, I guess I would shovel. Remember, you told me this old lady, she had to be in her 90s. I knocked on her. My bed's at 7, 8 years old. I'm knocking on doors. Okay, and I knocked on her door. And a little old lady came out. And I said, "Oh, you want me to shovel?" And she said, "Yeah." She goes, "Can you shovel this and shovel my stairs in the front?" Man, I spent about, I want to say like 3 hours there shoveling hard. I remember being sweaty and wonder if I got sick behind that. Who knows? And she gave me $1, man. And even at 7 years old, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" But she was such a little old lady. I was like, "All right." She gave me a hot cup and she said, "Oh, you want a hot cup of cocoa?" She said, "You want?" She gave me $1 and a hot cup of cocoa, man, for 3 hours of work. I was such a good kid, you know. I said, "All right, whatever, man." Even at that age, I was like, "Whatever." We're on the third road now, and so I guess because of the poverty that I was raised in, I'll put that in the fines. The poverty that I was raised in or subjected to, you know, depending on how you want to look at it. You know, again, I don't want this channel to be about my, um, I guess strife would be a good word to use. But those are the things that shaped who I am, you know, my hustle, my bustle, my entrepreneurship, and my can do attitude. You know, when I saw that people liked my videos and that this was something that I liked doing, I went in 100%. I have over 1,000 videos that I posted in 3 months. Okay. You want me? You only know that if you go into the about page and all of that and you start clicking, you know, information. Otherwise, you know, you might not even know I have 1,000 videos up. I'll put that into the fines. That's nice. And that's absolutely insane. You can look at people who have, I mean, successful YouTube video channels that are like 5 years old and they don't have 1,000 videos. Now, quality over quantity, you can get into, that's a whole nother debate. And I'll concur to that. I will concur to that argument. That's a very valid argument. And I think the quality of my videos is great. How about you? Thank you. 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 I'm glad you agree. Thank you. But, you know, I really don't want to talk too much about my past. You know, I'm actually going to put it in my title if I can remember. Oh, that's nice. I'm going to put that in the fines, though. It's not, it could go into the AUs. It's really, really nice. I'm going to put it into the fines. Well, I'll leave it. Let me see how it looks. I'll leave it in AU. Man, these fines are nice, too. Wow, we found some really nice pennies today. I don't want the channel to be about my past and my history and negativity, and I don't want it to be about that. You know, I want it to be about something positive. And you know, I met some really cool people who are into pennies and coins, you know what I'm saying? And that's the path I'm on right now. You know, and becoming monetized um is part of that path, you know what I mean? It's part of it. So today's day 2. You know, I'm kind of trying to connect all of this. You know, I don't know if I'm doing a good job or not, but that's what I'm trying to do. Today on day 2, I get up and there's, you know, now I'm starting to get messages about um different things relating to YouTube. I'll check this one out. Oh, wow. Let me tell you. Let me see if I'm correct on this. Am I correct? Usually, when you go like, I can show you. I can show you. I'll grab the next penny. Right? Let me see if I'm correct. Usually, I'm going to say this without even checking. What is it at? Usually, when you turn, the rotation is clockwise. There's always a slight rotation with pennies, and it's usually always clockwise. Yeah. I mean, I've done thousands of them. It's always clockwise, never counterclockwise. Never, never, never. I guess it just has something to do with the machining. Let me look at this penny real quick. A 70D. I know there's a 70. It's the 70S, right? This thing looks like it was punched hard. How deep that looks. But this one is slightly counterclockwise. I mean, put it like this. I noticed it instantly. They're never, 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 never. This is the first one I've ever seen. So I just want to look at the details just to make sure, because it was definitely. Oh, this is a beauty, man. This is a beautiful penny. What a beauty. Really fine details. I'll put it into the fines. It's a 66. Well, the face, though, the face isn't fine. The face is very dull, which doesn't match up with the details on the back. So that was most likely a dull die, a polished die, a grease strike, something. But you know what? I give it the dollar. I ask the dollar test. Is someone going to pay me $1 for this? If the answer is no, goodbye. And then the one I hate this, like one of the most important. See, this is the AUs that I want in the AUs. You see, when I look at that, and then I look at this. I mean, that's see, this isn't. I put this in the AU. I mean, I could leave it there, but really, this is what I'm looking for the AUs. See, that makes me want to put this into the fines. I'm going to do that. Yeah. Okay. It's still nice, but that's what I really want in the AUs if I can find them for that role. And then of course there's my whole spiritual journey. Like I feel like I could just start a whole channel on that. But that's not what this channel is about. I do try to include my relationship with Christ in everything that I do in life. That's just like that's not that's not even something that what's what I'm thinking of. It's very personal. That's the word. It's very personal. Huh. Is that one? That one also? No, you see? Yeah, you see, I thought it was, but it's not. You see, it's rotated clockwise. The other one rotated counterclockwise. I'd never seen it before. Yeah, it's very personal, and now there are people who preach and they talk about about their relationship with Christ, and they have channels on that, and it's and that's what they do. You know what I mean? They're really outspoken about it, and that's their focus. And I love those channels. To be honest with you, this goes into the AU pile. I love those channels. Now, will I ever do a channel like that? I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know. I don't know. Um, I don't know. I can't. But that's not what this channel is, though. I guess that's the point I was making. You know. Um, Now, if the Lord told me to go make this channel into that, you better believe it. In the next 5 seconds, not even instantly, this channel will become about that. If I was sent the message from above, like Noah, you better believe it. Instantly, I would make that change. Well, my heart says that anyway. I put that into the AUs, but that's not what this channel is about. You know, can I add some of that into this? Sure, of course. Flavor. That's what I was looking for. Can I add some? Can I have put some of the overtones and some of the flavor of my? Oh, now this one. Now check it out. And for some reason, they're always seven. A lot of them are 74s. So this is in the AUs, right? Very beautiful penny. This is what I want in the AUs. But every once in a while, I get a penny like this that looks like it was minted, yesterday. These I hold on to. These really, really close to uncirculated and beautiful pennies. So I put those to the side. Like that is, it's just something special, and it looks a little bit nicer. And maybe I find one, if I'm lucky, I find one of those per coin hunt. Yeah, but like this, that's a tricky one. It is a 67. Let me see. Yeah, I could put that in with the AUs. It matches pretty nice. Hold on a second here. Just have to check something. I check my out of tolerances with size also of the pennies. Another AU. That's another beauty. Absolute stunner. Wow. That is an absolute. I don't know if it's as nice as the last one though. It's not. I'll put that with the AUs. That's a beauty though. Wow. This is that last roll, by the way. Wow, 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 wow. Another AU. At least AU. Maybe even at least. So that was it. That's what I did today. Today's stuff was about my, who is, look at what Jess found. And of course, so I mentioned a little bit of my upbringing, my entrepreneurship, my some of the jobs that I did, um, my life with Christ, and of course, then there was meeting my wife, another highlight and very important part of my life. Wow, look at this. Wow, wow, wow. That's another one. I'll put that with the other one. It's just such a beauty. And 2002, I believe. Yes. Yes, that's our anniversary, 2002, when we met. And I'll put out the AUs, right? Yeah, I could put out the AUs. So we're going on 22 years together. And I believe with my heart, the Lord brought us together. And, it's just another very important part of my life. And back to YouTube. Here we are, 3 months in from having 59 too. Look at that. All right. I'll take that. 3 months in from starting the YouTube channel, this YouTube channel, even though it says I opened up the account in 2022, but the channel started basically December 4th, 2023. Put this with the AUs, I think. Let me see. Can I get away with it? It's close. It's close. Nah, if it's close, I put it right to the fines. I can't take that. I'm not gonna contaminate the AUs with that. Oh yeah, wow. What another absolute stunner. Let me look at this rotation on it. Oh, oh, it's getting close. Wow. I don't think it's enough. It's not enough of a rotation. I know there's a number that you're looking for. I don't know if it's 15, 20, or 25%. I can't remember. But irregardless, I'm not gonna. I will put that with the. You know what? I'll put that with the AUs. I'll put that with the AUs. And that's it. And this is what we're doing. We're looking at pennies. We're looking at some other coins. I sprinkle it in with some, well, with a lot of talking. No, excuse me. I sprinkle in with some other subject matter here and there, and I basically talk for for an hour. Put that with the AUs. Talk for an hour, and I talk a little bit about what's going on with the channel. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, that's special. That I can't believe from 1977 to today, this penny is still looking like this. Yeah, that's special. I'll hold on to that. I might just throw those into with the AUs, but I'll definitely put it in with the another one. Wow, looks like it was minted yesterday. Wow. Again, I'll put those in with the. But that one I'll put the AU. I see it's a little dull, slightly. Look at these beauties, huh? And taking care of my health. That's a big part of what I'm trying to do now. Taking care of my health. When I was younger, I was able to do pretty much whatever I wanted, and it was all good. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the case anymore. You hit your 50s. Um, that's it. 50s. If you're not taking care of yourself in your 50s, I'll be honest with you. You could be punching your ticket. Bottom line, and that's the truth. I bumped into a friend last year, maybe even a little bit longer than that. It has been longer than that. It's going on 2 years now. We didn't stay in contact for too long, but I bumped into him. Let's just put it like that. And he's still living. He's living near New York, or he still has contact with the old crew in Brooklyn, and gave me some updates, and he told me about all the people passed, and we're talking about people my age group, people in their 50s, you know what I mean? And one of them was, and I did a shout out to him, I think, in one of my videos a couple months ago, a prayer, that goes with the AUs. And that's way too young, man. Way, way, way too young to be passing away in your uh, in your 50s, in my opinion, anyway. So take care of your health. You see that? I'm gonna put that down for a second. That was pretty cool. I'll put that with the fines. You might have found one error out of 3 rolls. That's a beauty. Put that with the fines. Excuse me, the AUs. And we found one error. I think it's an error. Let's see. Or is it a scratch? I have to look at it. I thought it was a die crack. Let me look at it on the loop. Maybe we didn't find an error. You know what it is? There's that little line that goes through it. It really screws it up. A little bit of damage that goes through it. I think this is a die crack. But there's that little scratch that goes through it, and it makes it look like it's not a die crack. Then the die crack goes through the 1 and the 19 a little bit. I don't like errors that I have to convince somebody about, So goodbye. I'm not going to hold on to it. Okay, so that was good. I like doing penny rolls a lot. I really, really do. It's a meditative for me. And thank you very much. That was episode 74, and I'll see you on the next one. That'll be my little reminder of where to put the mid roll. uh, oh, man. Let me see. Oh man, is this thing still on? I'm not shutting it off. I'm not shutting it off. I'm not gonna shut it off. Hold on a second. I can't believe I caught it. Wait, so I don't get it. How's it go in? Did it go? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. No, I'm not shutting it off. I'm not shutting it off. Okay. This is what happens when you're dealing with, it's not junk. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna disrespect my it's not the best though, obviously. Okay. It's not the best. What happens is if you don't know about the tripods, well, we gotta get the load in here. Yes. To frame. There's a the screw that holds in the piece that holds the phone. There's a nut on it, and for some reason, if you know, as the time goes by, it'll become unscrewed, and it just happened now that it came off of it. Instead of coming off of it before or after I made the video, it came off of it while I was making the video. So, so I don't know. Do you think that's funny when I do the? I've gotten some LOLs. I want a sip of coffee. I've gotten some LOLs from people regarding that. Is it still on? Is this thing still on? And that's where I put the mid roll. This is a super long. It's a one. I do 1 hour. I mean, obviously, if you're still here after an hour, you know I do 1 hour videos. And so I have to put a mid roll in between. You know what I mean? I should put a mid roll within the first. But this. So this is. So I'm learning all this stuff about YouTube as I go, and I'm going to talk to you about it. Why not? Right? It's interesting. We did the pennies, which I talked about a little bit about my history. Everybody has a history, you know. But if you're watching my show, you might want to know a little bit about me, and that's basically it. I said in the 1 hour video, I said my whole history, and I cut out a lot of the negativity stuff, you know. Because I'm really not trying to get into all that on YouTube or with any, you know, I'm trying to leave that part of the past in the past. I have introspected it. They don't even talk about introspection anymore. If you want to look up, when I was going to school and learning about various approaches and theories of psychology, introspection was one of them in the 90s, right? Because I did my undergraduate in the 90s. I graduated in 2000 with the major of psychology. So introspection was one of those, and I haven't. I very rarely, once in a while, I hear someone my age or older talking about introspection. But you can look it up. And introspection was basically, imagine that being your own therapist. I mean, of course, with the Lord's help, Christ, that's the trifecta right there. You know. But as far as with psychology and what was um, created or thought of, different theories and approaches, introspection was one of them. And I studied it to a certain degree, and you don't hear anybody talking about that. So I've done that already. I use it. I use introspection all the time. And but this channel is not about that. Here we talk about pennies and coins and fun stuff. And if I can, and I get if I get a little opportunity to let people know my faith, I will. I will definitely. I'm not gonna push that, but I will. I'm not gonna deny it either. I will. If it comes up, I will share it. And of course, I will put the imagery into view, whenever I can. I think that's so important. Imagery and psychology and all of that, I think is so important, and to try to be healthy. So thank you for, especially if you watch through all those the ads. That's the only way I'm going to make a buck. Putting some ads up, So just consider it supporting the channel. You know what I mean? If 1 million people watch the videos, if 1 million people watch the video, I don't expect 1 million. Imagine if 1 million people watched the video and 1 million people gave me a buck. That would be it. Be a wrap. I wouldn't have to worry about ads or monetized or nothing. But that's not going to happen, and that's never going to happen, and I'm okay with that. But to sit through an ad is free. You know what I mean? So I'll ask for that, right? I ask for a thumbs up, ask for a like, I ask for a subscribe, and I ask for to sit through an ad. That's it. And I'll work for you an hour a day. Now from here I do the abridged version, right? Which if you're watching this and you stood through an hour, the abridged version comes up next. That's like 5-10 minutes. And we got a bunch of stuff here today, so that'll be pretty cool. It'll probably take 5 minutes. And then I do the shorts. And that's my morning. Okay. So let me get on it. As you can tell, I can talk forever. And I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed my little background talk. And I'll see you on the next one. God bless.